In a world that never stops screaming, silence is your superpower. What if I told you that the secret to success, peace, and power lies in doing nothing, but doing it consciously? This video isn't just a summary, it's your roadmap to reclaiming control of your mind, your time, and your life. We've broken down Ryan Holiday's powerful book, Stillness is the Key, into 10 simple, life-changing chapters you'll never forget. Don't skip, because if you miss even one point, you might miss the key to transforming your entire mindset. Watch till the end, because this isn't like any other summary. It's fully engaging, cinematic, and crafted to unlock stillness in your chaotic world. So take a deep breath, and let's begin. Chapter 1. Master your mind. Your mind, it's the loudest place in the world. Even when everything around you is quiet, your thoughts scream. Regrets from the past, anxiety about the future, unfinished to-do lists, comparisons, doubts. It's like a never-ending storm. And in that storm, you lose yourself. That's why Ryan Holiday says, stillness begins in the mind. But mastering your mind isn't about shutting off your thoughts. It's about learning to observe them without letting them control you. Imagine your thoughts like clouds in the sky. You don't have to chase them. You don't have to run from them. You just let them pass. And in that letting go, you find peace. We live in a hyper-connected world. Notifications, reels, opinions, algorithms, everything is designed to distract you, to take you away from yourself. But here's the truth no one tells you. You don't have to react to everything. You don't have to attend every argument, click every headline, or chase every trend. You just need clarity. Focus. A pause. Great minds throughout history, Marcus Aurelius, Leonardo da Vinci, Buddha, even modern leaders like Steve Jobs, they all understood the same thing. Your outer world means nothing if your inner world is in chaos. So how do you master your mind? Start by creating moments of intentional silence in your day. Don't scroll, sit, don't rush, breathe. Write your thoughts down, journal them, get them out of your head and onto paper. You'll be shocked how powerful that one habit is. Stop multitasking. Focus on one task, one conversation, one moment. Do it with your full presence. Let go of the need to control everything. You can't. And trying only brings frustration. You see, your mind is like a garden. If you don't tend to it, weeds will grow. Negativity, fear, anxiety. But if you plant the right seeds, gratitude, focus, stillness, your entire life blooms. This chapter isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming aware. Because the most powerful person in the room is the one who's calm. The one who thinks clearly when everyone else is losing their minds. Master your mind and you master your life. And in that mastery, you find stillness. Chapter 2. Control your emotions. You can be the smartest person in the room, but if you can't control your emotions, you'll destroy everything. A single burst of anger can break years of trust. A moment of envy can ruin a lifetime of peace. And an unchecked ego, it can blind you so badly that you don't even see your own downfall coming. That's why Ryan Holiday says, stillness isn't just about the absence of noise, it's about the absence of emotional chaos. Emotions are powerful. They're what make us human. But here's the secret. You are not your emotions. You feel them, yes, but you are not defined by them. And the moment you realize that, you gain control. Think about how many times you've said something in anger you didn't mean, or scrolled through someone else's life and felt like you were falling behind. Or let anxiety convince you that the worst is about to happen, even though it never does. It's okay, we've all been there. But stillness, true stillness, it comes when you learn to pause. When the fire rises in your chest and your heart pounds, you take a breath instead of reacting. When ego whispers you're better than them, you remind yourself, I'm here to grow, not to compare. When anxiety floods your mind with what-ifs, you anchor yourself in what is. Holiday reminds us of history's greatest leaders, those who kept their calm while empires burned. Why? Because emotional discipline is strength. Not silence, not pretending, but understanding, processing, responding, not reacting. You don't have to numb your feelings. You don't have to bottle them up, but you do have to own them. Anger is a signal, not a solution. Envy is a teacher, not a truth. Ego is a mask, not your identity. And anxiety is your mind trying to protect you, but doing it all wrong. So give yourself grace. Sit with your emotions. Don't run from them. Name them. Understand them. Because only when you face your emotions head-on, without letting them take the wheel, do you step into your real power. Control your emotions, or they will control you. And in that quiet control, you discover stillness. Chapter 3. Embrace solitude and silence. We're drowning in noise. Scrolling, swiping, streaming. Every second of our lives is filled with distraction. But here's the paradox. The more connected we become, the more disconnected we feel from ourselves. Ryan Holiday doesn't romanticize solitude. He reminds us that it's necessary. Not for isolation, but for clarity, for presence, for healing. Because until you step away from the noise, you'll never hear what your soul is truly trying to say. Think about it. When was the last time you sat in silence, without music, without your phone, without trying to fill the moment with something? Most people fear silence because in silence, the truth shows up. The pain you've buried, the decisions you've been avoiding, the version of yourself you've been too busy to face. But in that discomfort lies freedom. When you embrace solitude, you create space for reflection, for realignment. You begin to see that half the pressure you feel in life isn't real. It's noise. Noise from comparison. Noise from expectations. Noise from the outside world telling you who you should be. Some of the world's greatest breakthroughs were born in solitude. Jesus spent 40 days in the desert. Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree in silence. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations alone in a war camp. Why? Because stillness doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing less, intentionally. Solitude isn't loneliness. In fact, it's the opposite. It's where you meet the most important person you've been ignoring, yourself. So unplug. Turn it all off for a moment. Go for a walk without headphones. Sit with your thoughts without judgment. Breathe without rushing. Let the silence wrap around you, not as a punishment, but as a gift. Because in that still, quiet space, something beautiful happens. You remember who you are. Not who the world wants you to be, not who you're pretending to be, but the real you, the peaceful you, the powerful you. Embrace solitude. Embrace silence. That's where your true voice speaks the loudest. Chapter 4. Practice self-awareness. Most people are strangers to themselves. They wake up, rush through life, chase goals, avoid pain, and never stop to ask, why am I doing this? What am I feeling? Who am I becoming? That's the danger of living on autopilot. You move, but you don't grow. You achieve, but you don't understand. You exist, but you don't live. Ryan Holiday says, stillness isn't possible without self-awareness. Because how can you calm your mind if you don't even know what's stirring inside it? Self-awareness is like holding up a mirror, not to criticize, but to truly see yourself. The fears you hide, the patterns you repeat, the stories you tell yourself that are no longer true. And the only way to see clearly is to pause, reflect, and be brutally honest, with love. That's why journaling is such a powerful tool. Not for fancy writing, not for the world to read, but for you. When you write, you slow down your mind. You put thoughts into words. You turn chaos into clarity. Even a few minutes a day can reveal truths you've been ignoring for years. Ask yourself questions that go deeper than surface level. Why did I react that way today? What am I avoiding? What do I need but keep denying myself? And don't lie to yourself. The world already does enough of that. Be honest. Be raw. Be vulnerable. That's how growth begins. Self-awareness also means facing your shadows, your jealousy, your anger, your guilt. Not to shame yourself, but to heal. Because you can't fix what you won't face. And the most dangerous lies are the ones we tell ourselves. But here's the beautiful truth. Once you begin seeing yourself clearly, you start living more intentionally. You stop blaming the world. You take responsibility. You begin choosing peace over drama, purpose over pressure, progress over perfection. And slowly, you become the kind of person who moves with grace, speaks with purpose, and lives with presence. Not because life is perfect, but because you know who you are. Practice self-awareness, because the more you understand yourself, the less the world can shake you. Chapter 5. Live with virtue and integrity. You can't fake peace. You can chase success. You can build status. You can impress the world. But when the lights go out and you're left alone with your thoughts, only one thing truly matters. Did I live with integrity? Ryan Holiday reminds us that stillness isn't found in achieving more, it's found in becoming more. More honest, more courageous, more disciplined, more you. Virtue sounds like an old-fashioned word, but it's more relevant now than ever, because today's world celebrates shortcuts, filters, and illusions. But deep inside, we all crave something real, and that real comes from living in alignment with your values. Courage is doing the right thing, even when it's hard. Honesty is telling the truth, even when it costs you. Discipline is showing up for what matters, even when you don't feel like it. And no, it's not easy. But that's the point. Virtue isn't about being perfect, it's about choosing the harder right over the easier wrong. It's about being the same person when no one's watching. We think stillness is a feeling, but really it's a reflection of your choices. When your actions match your beliefs, when your words match your heart, when your outer life mirrors your inner values, that's when peace shows up. Not because everything is calm, but because you are. The people we admire most, Nelson Mandela, Viktor Frankl, Mahatma Gandhi, they weren't rich in material things, but they were unshakable. Why? Because they lived by a code, a truth, a virtue. You don't need 1 million followers to make a difference. You need integrity. You don't need a perfect past to start today. You need courage, and you don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to take the next right step. Ask yourself, when my time here is over, will I be proud of the person I became? Live with virtue. Live with integrity. Because peace doesn't come from what you get, it comes from who you are. Chapter 6. Be present in the moment. The past is gone. The future isn't here yet. All you really have is this moment. But how often do we waste it? We replay past mistakes like broken records. We worry about things that haven't even happened yet. We're physically here, but mentally somewhere else. And in doing that, we miss life. Ryan Holiday reminds us, stillness lives in the now. Not in your next achievement, not in someday, not in what ifs or what could have beens, but in the breath you're taking right now. You see, your mind loves to pull you away from the present. It tells you should have done better, or what if you fail tomorrow? And suddenly you're trapped in a world that doesn't even exist. Meanwhile, life is quietly passing you by, one precious second at a time. But there's a secret weapon: mindfulness. It's not just meditation or yoga. It's a way of living. It's learning to fully show up, to feel the warmth of your coffee instead of gulping it on autopilot, to actually listen to someone instead of waiting for your turn to speak, to notice the sky, the wind, the smile of a stranger. Presence is power, because when you're truly in the moment, fear disappears. Why? Because fear lives in the future, regret lives in the past. But peace? Peace only lives in the now. You can't rewrite yesterday. You can't control tomorrow, but you can choose this moment. You can choose to slow down. You can choose to be here. Gratitude helps. When you're grateful, you don't need more. You realize you already have enough. And that realization softens everything. Suddenly, what you have becomes beautiful. What you are becomes enough. Where you are becomes home. So the next time your mind races, pause. Breathe. Feel the ground beneath you. Look around. This moment is your life. Don't let it slip away while chasing something that was never missing. Be present in the moment, because this moment is all you truly own. Chapter 7. Accept what you can't control. You can do everything right, and life can still break your heart. The truth is, some things are just out of your hands. People leave, plans fail, storms come, and no matter how tightly you grip the wheel, you can't control it all. Ryan Holiday teaches us something that sounds simple but feels impossible. To find peace, you must accept what you can't control. That doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean becoming passive or weak. It means learning to separate what's yours to carry and what isn't. You are responsible for your effort, not the outcome. You can control your attitude, not the actions of others. You can choose your response, not the chaos around you. So much of our suffering doesn't come from what happens to us. It comes from our refusal to accept it. We fight the truth. We cling to what was. We try to bend reality to our expectations, and it only exhausts us. Letting go isn't losing, it's freeing. It's saying, I did my part, the rest is not mine. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. You see, control is an illusion. Life was never meant to be predictable, and the more we try to script it, the more we suffer when it doesn't follow our plan. But when you accept uncertainty, when you stop trying to force everything into perfection, you breathe, you soften, you begin to live again. Even the strongest trees bend in the wind, Even the wisest people surrender to things they can't change. That's not giving up. That's adapting. That's surviving. That's strength in its purest form. So drop the weight of needing everything to go your way. Drop the illusion that you're supposed to have it all figured out. You weren't put here to control life. You were put here to live it, to grow through it, to surrender to its mystery and still move forward with grace. Accept what you can't control. And in that surrender, you will finally find stillness. Chapter 8. Prioritize physical health. You can't have a calm mind in a chaotic body. You can't find stillness when your body is exhausted, your energy is drained, and your health is falling apart silently behind your ambition. Ryan Holiday reminds us of a truth we often ignore in our chase for success. Stillness begins in the body, not in some distant spiritual realm, but in how you sleep, how you move, how you eat, how you breathe. We treat our bodies like machines, pushing through sleepless nights, skipping meals, living on caffeine and stress. We glorify hustle and ignore rest. But here's the reality. Your body keeps the score. You might think you're strong enough to power through anything, until one day your body says, no more, and it crashes, through illness, burnout, fatigue, or worse. Holiday isn't telling you to become a fitness model. He's reminding you to return to the basics, get enough sleep, not just hours, but quality. Move your body not to impress, but to feel alive. Eat food that nourishes, not numbs. Take deep breaths, slow walks, midday pauses. Because when your body feels safe, your mind relaxes. When your body is energized, your thoughts clear up. When you care for yourself, you show up better for everything and everyone. Simplicity is the secret. You don't need a perfect workout routine. You need consistency. You don't need to live on supplements. You need sunlight, hydration, movement, and rest. You don't need a luxurious spa to relax. You just need to give yourself permission to slow down. Your body is your home. It's the only place you have to live for the rest of your life. So treat it with respect. Listen to it. Move it. Fuel it. Let it recover. The great minds we admire, philosophers, warriors, artists, understood this well. Marcus Aurelius trained daily. Seneca walked often. Even Buddha spoke of the middle path, balance between indulgence and deprivation. Because the truth is, you can't reach your full potential with half a battery, and you can't experience real peace in a restless, aching body. Prioritize your physical health, because stillness isn't just a mental state, it's a physical foundation. And when your body is well, your soul can finally rest. Chapter 9. Slow down to go further. We're taught to move fast, to grind, to hustle, to stay busy so we don't fall behind. But here's the truth no one tells you. Speed doesn't guarantee success. Sometimes it guarantees burnout. Ryan Holiday flips the script. If you really want to go far in life, you have to slow down. Because rushing leads to mistakes. Hurrying creates anxiety. And when you're always in motion, you never have time to check if you're even moving in the right direction. Ask yourself, what are you chasing so fast that you're forgetting to live? We scroll faster, reply quicker, multitask everything. But our minds are tired, our hearts are numb, and we confuse movement with meaning. But stillness reminds us that progress doesn't have to be loud. You don't have to sprint to prove you're growing. You just have to show up, calmly, consistently, and with purpose. Think about nature. The strongest trees don't grow overnight. They grow inch by inch, season by season. The most powerful rivers aren't wild and chaotic. They flow steady, quiet, and deep. So what if the real strength isn't in how fast you move, but how intentionally you do it? What if the person who pauses, who thinks, who takes one mindful step at a time, actually wins the long game? Slowing down doesn't mean falling behind. It means choosing quality over chaos. It means doing fewer things, but doing them well. It means listening fully, loving deeply, creating without rushing. Because when you slow down, you see more. You hear what you were too busy to notice. You enjoy what you used to race past. You reconnect with yourself, with others, with life. Holiday reminds us, don't mistake busyness for meaning. Be deliberate, be present, be steady. That's how legends are built. Not in a rush, but in rhythm. Slow down to go further. Because speed impresses, but stillness transforms. Chapter 10. Prepare for the end. One day, all of this will end. The deadlines, the arguments, the likes, the pressure, the constant noise. It'll all go quiet. And the only question that will matter is, Did you live a life that meant something? Ryan Holiday doesn't bring up death to scare you. He brings it up to wake you up. Because when you remember that time is limited, suddenly you stop wasting it. You stop holding grudges. You stop chasing what doesn't matter. You stop waiting for the right moment that never comes. And you start living with focus, with meaning, with heart. Memento mori, remember, you must die. The Stoics didn't see this as dark or depressing. They saw it as a compass, a way to remind themselves every day is a gift, every moment counts. When you embrace mortality, your priorities shift. You stop chasing perfection and start cherishing presence. You stop asking, what do people think of me? And start asking, am I proud of who I am becoming? You start making time for what matters, the people you love, the things that light your soul, the peace you've been putting off until someday. But here's the truth, someday is not promised. And that's not meant to create fear, it's meant to give you power. The power to say no to what drains you. The power to say yes to what calls you. The power to live now. Stillness sharpens when you live like your time matters, when you speak with love, when you forgive quickly, when you create like it's your last masterpiece. You don't need more time, you need more presence in the time you already have. So look in the mirror, not with fear but with clarity, and ask yourself, if this was the last chapter, would I be at peace? Prepare for the end. Because remembering death is how you truly learn to live. You came here searching for calm, but maybe what you found was something deeper, something timeless. Because stillness isn't just the absence of noise. It's not a luxury. It's a way of life, a discipline, a decision, a power you hold within. In a world that races, stillness slows. In a world that shouts, stillness listens. In a world that chases more, stillness teaches enough. Now that you've heard these 10 timeless lessons, the question is, will you live them? Will you choose clarity over chaos? Purpose over pressure, stillness over stress, because this is not just a book, this is a mirror, and the person staring back at you is the one who decides what happens next. Take a breath, take the first step, and begin living the life you were meant for, not out there, but in here. Stillness is the key. And now, you hold it. If this message moved you, inspired you, or gave you clarity, support the channel by hitting that like button, share it with someone who needs stillness, and subscribe for more deeply powerful summaries and life lessons every week. This is Book Summary Vault, reminding you that the most powerful answers are found in silence.